Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this week I'll be having a new segment in my channel and I'll talk more about it later on. So let's jump straight away to our track walk. The Circuit of the Americas, or COTA, is a 5.5 kilometer long racetrack in Austin, Texas. It's one of few counterclockwise racetracks on the Grand Prix circuit. Now we approach turn 1. It's one of the most exciting turns in the F1 calendar. It has an elevation of 133 feet and into a sharp left-hander. And now we approach turns 2, 3 and 4. So this part of the track is similar to Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel from Silverstone. And yes, what makes this track great is it's a mashup of all the best corners from iconic circuits around the world. Turn 5 and 6 requires quite a lot of throttle precision to keep it in track. And now we approach turns 7 and 8. This part is similar to Senna's S's from the Brazilian Grand Prix. And coming up after this is a corner that comes up very quickly and unexpectedly. It is a complex left-hander. And turn 10 is usually taken flat out, that ends up in a hairpin down at turn 11. So this corner, turn 11, is the furthermost point on the track from the start-finish straight. And it starts the long DRS straight. And also this track has two DRS zones. One is after turn 11 and the other being on start-finish straight. At the end of the 1 kilometer straight, drivers usually slow down from 300 kph to 100 to make this corner. And now we approach turns 13 and 14, which is modeled after Hockenheimring. And these two corners build up to turn 15, so making sure you get the correct angle to attack the next corner is crucial. And now we approach turn 15. Over here, hard braking and using the right line is always a treat for the drivers and the fans as well. And coming up next is turns 16, 17 and 18, a set of multi-apex corners similar to Istanbul Park's famous turn 8. It just sweeps and sweeps and sweeps. Coming up now is turn 19. The lap is almost over, this is the penultimate corner. And then finally we approach turn 20, the last corner that helps us rejoin the start-finish straight. And you go onwards to the start finish line. So that would be all for this segment. So let's move on to a new segment. I would like to call this segment Pit Lane Recap. So on this segment, I would like to take a trip down the previous Grand Prix and revisit some of its most iconic moments. So buckle up, grab your helmets, and let's move on straight to day 1 of the Grand Prix weekend. Friday. So what happened in qualifying? The most intense moment was Lance Stroll shoving his trainer after getting knocked out in Q1 again. And the top 3 qualifying for Sunday's race was... Okay, excuse me, my cats are playing hell here. So back to the top 3. They were Max on top, George on second and Lewis on third. Oscar Piastri was supposed to be second, but during his interviews after the lap, he was... told that he had violated track limits, so his time was removed. So I'm sad for Oscar. And then comes Saturday, the sprint quali or the sprint shootout. So the only interesting part over there was Oscar Piastri taking pole and Lando was behind him, and Max took third to round up the top 3. And Oscar Piastri went to win the race, being sadly the first from the 2 drivers to win a race. I mean, it's a sprint race, I don't know if it actually counts, but well, I'm really happy for Oscar. He shows a lot of promise in the future. And then we move on to the race. My god, it was a chaotic race. So turn 1, Lewis and George came together. I mean, no surprise there, we knew it was coming. And then poor Fernando had his butt on fire. I mean, most drivers were complaining about the heat, not complaining, they were like, it is pretty hot and humid in Qatar. It's pretty hard for people to, even go for a jog for 20 minutes. Like asking them to race in that conditions was insane. Huge respect for those drivers. I've been in the Middle East once or twice, and I know it's pretty tough being there. Like, just walking outside is quite an ask. So both alphas finished in the points. That was quite a surprise. Congrats to Bottas and Zoe. Zoe did one of the best drives of the weekend. I think he went from 19th to 9th, and that was quite a drive from him in that conditions. And McLaren also had a blistering 1.8-second pit stop, and it was crazy. I can't even blink. I mean, it's crazy. Well done to those mechanics. So the race results were as follows. On top, Max Verstappen, his first win as a 3-time Grand Prix winner. Oh, and yes, Max won the Grand Prix in the sprint race. I forgot to mention that. Sergio crashed. I mean, it wasn't his fault for once, but the moment he was out in the sprint race, Max was the winner. And okay, Max was on top, and then came Oscar Piastri and then Lando. McLaren boys are doing great. I love to see them rise. Holy shit, they're pretty good. I'm becoming a McLaren fan. I just realized. So that rounds up our top 3, and our DNFs for the day was Lewis Hamilton and Carlos Sainz was a did not start. There was a fuel line issue, I'm not sure, I think, or a fuel pump. Something with the fuel system was wrong in his car, so they didn't let him start. And the other DNF was Logan Sargent, but man, hats off to him. That was quite a bold move from him. It takes quite a lot of guts to call quits, and for a driver to do that, putting himself in safety and not at risk, and the other drivers potentially at risk. That was great from Logan Sargent. Okay, so now we move on to our next segment. I mean, it's a hot lap while I give my predictions and a few news about the upcoming Grand Prix. So we start with some upgrades. Well, these are the teams that have confirmed to bring upgrades: AlphaTauri, Mercedes, and Haas, and also Aston Martin. I saw a few pictures, I will post it here, from Albert Fabrega. I hope I pronounced his name right. I'm sorry if I butchered it. And for the first time ever this weekend, they're gonna have a live F1 Academy stream. So I'm looking forward to the broadcast of that, because it's time for us to see some female F1 drivers. I mean, so many people might have mixed opinions on that, but I am definitely for this. I would like to see some change in the grid. And let's move on to my predictions of the week. So for qualifying, I would predict pole Max, and then I would give Lewis the doubt, but I mean, I've been putting him on top for the last few weeks. I hope he delivers. I know he can. He loves the circuit. And on third, I've gone for Charles Leclerc. So for the sprint, I think Max would take pole, the rest is irrelevant. And the sprint race, I think Charles would come on top because he loves sprint weekends. And then there'll be Lewis, and I think Checo would not have a bad weekend. Something will happen to Max, I feel. And on the race, I would predict Max, Lewis, and Lando. I'm putting Lewis high because I think the upgrades they bring will do something. I think it's supposed to bring 1/10 of a second. So anyways, that will be it for this week. And if you guys stayed this long, thanks a lot. It means so much to me, and thanks for watching. Have a good week and enjoy your race weekend. Bye.